Hey there, Dr. Albert Wong. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time here. Today we're going to watch a little clip from a movie called Causeway because I think it's an incredibly good example of hypoarousal. That's dorsal vagal shutdown. It's one of the trauma responses. So instead of just talking about what dorsal vagal shutdown looks like, you'll get a chance to see it. So hypoarousal is one of the classic trauma responses. Jennifer Lawrence actually exhibits a predominantly hypoarousal with spurts and flashes of hyperarousal when she's experiencing these kinds of very intense flashbacks, but predominantly hypoarousal with flashes of hyperarousal. Let's watch the clip. There's commentary that goes along with it, and check out what hypoarousal looks like. All right, lights, camera, action.
Yeah. This is a movie called Causeway. It stars Jennifer Lawrence, who is one of my favorite combination actresses. She's a great comedic actor with impeccable timing, and she doesn't shy away from darker roles. So let's see how she does in this performance. It's about trauma.
Thanks.
And a soldier who is returning in the aftermath
That all
of
you're
trauma.
traveling with, honey?
She's not having an easy time of it.
You wear a medium? Okay. Cell phone is prepaid. Somewhere on here, it tells you the number. I was trying to think what else to get you. It's always different with each person. Eye drops, hairspray, whatever. Last guy liked to use conditioner instead of shaving cream. You just let me know what you...
So you can see this just kind of blankness, which is a common response to trauma.
Do you need me to go slower?
And this is good. There's a way in which she's trying to, the helper is trying to adapt to Jennifer Lawrence's pace. But there's almost this complete frozenness that's present in her.
There you go. Good. I'm sure you're more of an adventurer. I can't stand planes. Don't like being up in the air and people breathing down your neck. Good job, honey.
So yeah, I think the word that they originally had for trauma, PTSD, was shell shock. You can see the
Slowly.
experience of shock, like
Germs can be dangerous.
almost complete incapacitation.
Let me help you.
It's a pretty serious manifestation of it, but a lot of people have some degree of just like being in that frozen, we call it the dorsal vagal state, just the nervous system shut down. It's a survival mechanism typically. You can see Jennifer Lawrence in that role.
Frank liked naproxen better than Advil. He had bursitis in his shoulder. He worked in the plant packing TV dinners. I wouldn't eat him. All that ammonium probably what got him sick.
How long ago was that?
9 years. I got so good at taking care of him, I thought, why can't I do that for a living? So I went back to school and got licensed.
What a miserable life.
The fact that Jennifer Lawrence is speaking even is actually a good sign.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. People say things they don't mean. Sometimes they can't remember words. It'll get easier.
Looks like she's in the hospital and
Do you remember this man's name?
just trying to get back to her life.
John Jones. Mary Black? I have no idea.
Now with the other hand.
Yeah.
So one thing that trauma does is, if it's severe enough, it creates these kind of memory gaps.
All right, come back.
Looks like she's experienced quite a bit of physical trauma too. Trauma is frequently this in-between place where you're shut down and then like terrified and then shut down and terrified. It's
You're okay. You're okay,
Yeah.
honey. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Just breathe. Listen to me.
Ooh,
Oh, it's okay. You're okay.
yeah.
That's it. Just breathe. Just breathe. In and out.
And you feel the. So one thing that's happening here is that kind of during a traumatic flashback or an experience of like re-experiencing, the breath sometimes starts to go really fast, in and out, in and out. So one of the tools
Be like this.
for working with trauma is to lengthen the breath, long it out, in and out, in and out. So that's what the helper is doing. Is,
You with me?
and honestly, one of tools is kind of temperature change. Sometimes tactile texture things can actually be very regrounding, re-supportive of a person who's in the midst of a traumatic episode, just feeling reconnected with the present, with the now. Even feeling the earth as it kind of presses up and meets their feet. So sometimes the idea is like changing the physiology changes the internal psychology. So if you're in a traumatic flashback, sometimes switching up showers, texture, anything to place your attention into a different pattern or groove can be helpful.
You go for a drive before it gets dark? Let's take this right into town. Look at you.
So smiling is really good.
You're ready to go.
It's a good sign. Smiling, social contact, relationality. One of the things that happens in trauma is that we lose that relational bond. All right. So you look on Jennifer Lawrence's face, there's an immediate sense of fear.
Pull over. You need to pull over just to the side of the road.
Yeah.
Right here.
And the helper was very tuned to. Okay. Oh,
Sorry.
It's okay. I know this is hard.
This isn't hard. Driving a car shouldn't be a victory.
I mean, leaving, transition can be hard. If you're not feeling ready, we can look into extending your stay.
Can't pay for that.
Wow, she's been in
I should be getting back anyway.
residential
Back home.
treatment, it looks like.
No, back to work. Redeploy.
She's military,
You've made a lot of progress,
residential.
but you're not ready to go back to work. Not nearly.
Then what the hell? What's the point in all of this?
Looks like she was at a VA or something. I'll just say one of the things I noticed.
Don't forget what we talked about, okay? Organize yourself. Prep for memory gaps. Make lists. Keep your lists. Put like with like. Find two of something. Put them together like we worked on.
I'm not going to forget.
People do. They can get a little ahead of themselves. Well, what's your plan for getting home from the bus? We can write it down.
This is
My mom is going to pick me up from the bus station.
Anyone else going to be around? Your brother?
I haven't really been home in a while, and not like I'm staying for long.
It can help to be with people.
I'm good on my own.
It's a common trait of trauma survivors: isolation, self-sufficiency.
Difficult. Cymbalto. Vicodin. Rehab's not over. Gonna have to work hard every day to do all the things you used to do.
I'm going to be fine.
So self-sufficiency sometimes is ongoing kind of refusal of help. Rejection of help is sometimes a feature of trauma survivors. You also saw her break down, cry, and say, sorry, sorry, sorry. That's another feature that sometimes happens. Trauma survivors apologize, maybe over-apologize.
So just a few little pieces about that last little section. Jennifer Lawrence says that her mother is coming to pick her up at the bus stop. If we actually watch the next scene, it will be revealed that nobody's coming to pick her up. She is far more alone than she lets on. The caregiver's question about her brother later in the movie we'll discover, and this is a little bit of a spoiler alert, so if you're going to watch the movie, you can pause. But basically, it turns out that her mother is not a stable, steady, supportive, reliable, secure base. And when we don't have that steady home base, that secure place for us, it's hard to feel safe. It's hard to feel nurtured or loved. There needs to be a certain level of steadiness and stability in order for us to receive love. So it's interesting, like when people date, the phrase is, we're going steady, which is such an interesting phrase. Like, what does steadiness have to do with love? And it actually has a lot to do with love. Who is steady for you? Who is reliable? Who shows up? Who's a stable point? A stable person. Jennifer Lawrence doesn't have that. So when somebody who doesn't have steadiness in their life to begin with has a traumatic event occur, it's a double injury, right? The world that they have gets blown apart, and there's no world that they can retreat back into. So that makes healing from trauma all the more difficult. All right. So hope this video was helpful. Tell me what you thought. You can leave a comment in the comment section below. Do you feel like you understand hypoarousal a little bit better? This is Jennifer Lawrence's character and what's going on with her. This is one of the primary trauma responses, almost going dissociative and numb in your body into this deep underwater, far, far away from home place. Okay. All right. Take good care, and we'll see you around.